Hi!
Howdy.
Hello, everybody! If you're not awake, you're awake now.
In more ways than one.
Ooh, my hair's all crazy. Oh, speaking of crazy. So,
Crazy train is full,
the
guys.
crazy train is full.
And apparently the elevator is going down, but I don't really know that song that well, so Michelle can speak to that. I don't really.
Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to get through this thing called life. Those of you that know me know I'm a huge Prince fan. Thank you all for being here and tuning into our moment of presence. We decided to kind of jazz it up today and go from gardening to music because the world is freaking crazy. And I thought it might be time to take a inventory of the tools that we have to get us through this crazy world. Yeah. So that's how I got to here.
Well, what's interesting, what I think is funny, is like, the world is crazy. Oh my god, everything's happening.
But is it?
I have a window right here, and it's a pretty beautiful day out.
It is. It's
And
actually a really pretty day.
everything's like real chill and calm. And
Yeah.
it really speaks to where we're at.
Yeah.
In the world. And everything's not that crazy. Oh my god, it was so unexpected. Was it? Was it though? Oh my god, the world's gonna end. Has it ever?
Yeah.
Oh my god, I can't have a family or have kids or do anything because what is even the future? Future's a lot. A lot of opportunities and oh my god, America's the worst country in the world. Are you sure? Because we've got a great system going here where a lot of people start from nothing and end up with a lot.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, it sucks if you can't tap into that system, but like a lot of people want to come here when other places aren't like us.
Yeah.
But more importantly, back to until recently, until this stupid thing was created, that's a phone, cell phone. Notice my camera's covered. Until that thing was created, the only things we were exposed to really were what was happening in our little town, our little village, maybe the town or village one over.
Yeah.
But we weren't bombarded with constant understanding, or not even understanding, that's the wrong word, bombarded with constant updates of what was happening around the world. And here's the crazy thing. Yes, right now we know there's stuff going on in the Middle East. Unless you're there, I have no way of knowing if any of that is real.
Right. Like the butterflies and dragonflies and animals and trees here don't know there's anything going on. Well, maybe
no, but I mean more that like it could just be AI and none of us would know. Because the AI that we have access to is very different than the AI that the military does.
You should pull up one of those pictures that AI created.
I'm not pulling up those horrific AI generated photos that you created.
So what happened was this morning I was, of course, changing things up for today's afternoon show. And I was thinking about what song has been playing in my mind. And so for me, Let's Go Crazy, right? Because if the elevator tries to break you down, we go, or bring you down, we go crazy. So
you sent me a text at about 7:30. Meanwhile, I did choose to sleep in today because my neck's been bothering me. Anyway, the first thing that I wake up to is my phone jingle jangling to, hey, with everything going on in the world, what is like the first song that comes to your mind? Don't think about it. Just answer. Obviously, Crazy Train, Ozzy Osbourne. There's no other.
What was so interesting is I had already put that down as the like two songs for me that are kind of like going back and forth. And so I thought it was so funny because then you picked that one and I was like, oh, this is too perfect. It's like kind of two different perspectives because when you ride on the crazy train, what does Ozzy tell us?
I mean, literally the entire song is exactly what's happening right now, but
yeah. I looked at the lyrics and I was like, oh shit, Taki mushrooms.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Millions of people living as foes.
Yeah. And so what I wanted to, like, look at these songs, right? Because everyone has a song that's probably playing in your head. You may not even know it's a song, but anyway, and it's kind of like, okay, well, what do you do about it? What can you do to, if you feel like you're on the elevator and it's trying to bring you down because somebody went in and literally punched every single button for every floor, and you're just going down in the building, let's say, in life, um, what do you do? Like, what can you do?
Yeah.
And with the crazy train, if the take it, I mean, if the train's going out of
You're
control,
on the well, listen, I mean, here's the thing, we're all on the crazy train.
yeah,
That's what's crazy. Is it's not like it's a ticket we pay for and get on the crate. Like we are just all on the crazy train. It's a different level of crazy for
hmm
everybody. It's a different perspective of crazy for everybody, but it's what do
yeah,
you do on the train to stay sane. Wow, now I'm a rapper. What do you do on the train to stay sane? That really matters, and that's what makes the difference of your experience as a human being on the planet.
right. So if you're tuning in, let us know, like, what song is on your mind. What song has been playing on repeat, like an earworm, in your mind, your heart. Put it in the chat. We would love to hear from you. Um, what I love about Prince's song, because that's what it is, it's Let's Go Crazy, is, you can call up your shrink in Beverly Hills. The one doctor, he says everything's going to be all right, that doctor. Um,
Bob Marley.
no, it's literally, the one doctor, everything's going to be all right.
Everything's the doctor that every little thing's gonna be all right. Bob Marley.
Oh, right.
Oh my gosh, get it together, woman.
Listen, I am on Prince right now. And so, do you really need anything outside of yourself to help you change where you are mentally, emotionally right now? And if you do, we're not medical professionals. Get help if you need help.
And
But
ChatGPT isn't either, by the way. Find someone who's actually qualified.
don't let certain people hear you say that. But anyway, what can you do? And if you've been tuning in to us for the last 3 years, you should have a really packed arsenal of things that you can do. So, my favorite, and I did it this morning, was I put on Let's Go Crazy. I like turned off the news. I walked away from audiobooks. I did something that I haven't done in a while, which was I just listened to a song and just listened to music. And that can shift your mood. It can shift your energy, which is what you need to do. What do you do, Krista?
So this isn't gonna be like something I recommend per se. But like we all know that if we get stuck on a thought,
Mm-hmm.
if we can't, it can be hard to get off of that thought train because our
Crazy train.
body's like pattern. It likes repetition. So honestly, what I do is I stay focused on something and honestly work, and then
Mm-hmm.
I get so tired that I can't think about that thing that's stressing me out anymore, and then I just go to bed and I wake up and I'm fine. That's not for everybody. That's not going to work for everybody,
Right.
but sometimes if you use distraction strategically, it can be an asset. It can be part of your arsenal. If you use it, you know, constantly and you don't
Mhm.
address what needs to be addressed, that's something different. But for someone with like OCD type tendencies, it can actually be really helpful, at least I find.
Yeah. And what I love about that is it's like a pattern disrupt, right? So
Exactly. That's
and so
exactly what it is.
so if you're going down the elevator and every button is pushed and the doors are opening and you literally feel like you're going crazy because nothing feels right, pattern disrupt. Get off on the next floor.
Yeah.
Look around you. Like, you
Yeah.
don't have to just stay where you are emotionally,
Yeah.
physically, whatever it is. You can choose to move in a different direction. And that's the beauty of this, is you get to choose. Go ahead.
Yeah. No, I was gonna say I saw this really interesting thing the other day online. I haven't tried it out, and it's so funny because it sounds crazy, but it also doesn't at all. Like if you understand just like how energy and timeline and principles work. But it basically said like if you want to shift your timeline,
Mm-hmm.
put all your clothes on inside out and walk backwards throughout your house, because what it does is your brain can't work on autopilot at that point. It's thrown off and it forces your brain to like
Hmm.
set, because it can't, like when you're looking forward, a lot of times we're not even paying attention, we just
Right.
walk, like it's instinct. When we walk backwards, we don't have that capability of just relying on instinct mostly. So I'm going to be interested. I want to try it out at some point just to kind of see, experiment. But along those same lines,
Should I like take my sweater off and turn it inside out?
not on a live. No, I think we're good. But along those same lines, if you want to kind of like disrupt the path that you're on, maybe
Yeah.
your day's not going great or whatever, you just want to shift.
Mm-hmm.
The concept really at its root is to do something out of the ordinary. So there was someone, we used to watch her content years ago, where she gave the example of just like randomly throw something across the room, not something that's going to break. But if you normally just kind of sit at your desk, you type, you
Mm-hmm.
whatever, you go home, same thing every single day, do something to
Mm-hmm.
disrupt the pattern.
Yeah.
Some literally take a pen and throw it across the room and force yourself to get up and go get it. Or do the opposite and force yourself not to go get it. But like you have to do something
Yeah.
to shift what you normally do.
Well, and as you were about to say that, my mind automatically went to skip. Instead of walking somewhere, skip.
Do you remember that day I tripped on the patio and then all of a sudden a million things started going wrong? And I was talking to my coach at the time about it, and she was like, I hate to tell you, but you basically need to recreate that to force yourself back to the old timeline you were on. And I'll tell you what, it freaking worked. I
Mm-hmm.
literally forced myself to trip in the same spot, and then everything got back in order.
Isn't that
It was the
crazy?
craziest thing.
There were. I wonder how many times we have said crazy so far today.
We should have a crazy counter.
We really should.
Dang, I don't know if I can. Let me see if I can do that.
So, there's meditation. When meditation isn't working, try something else. Prayer, yoga, tai chi, swim in the pool, cook. Like all of these things where you can get into the zone is a form of giving your mind a break, because you're kind of forcing yourself to go on an autopilot type of thing. And like Krista said, do a pattern disrupt.
Mhm.
Um, you know, change it up. Have breakfast for dinner. Uh, don't watch. The other day, I came out. I woke up and I heard this sound coming from the TV, and I was like, "What the hell is on the TV right now?" And my husband had put on Looney Tunes, and I
Oh
was
my
just
god,
like,
yeah.
and my brain knows exactly what it is, but I couldn't like put two and two together and go, "Oh my gosh, there's cartoons on our TV." What
That's
were you-
crazy.
oh, we're crazy. Oh, it didn't do it.
Okay, I have to actually change it.
Oh, I'm thinking it's just going to pick up every time we say crazy.
No,
We might as well just
it's
put it
gonna
on
be.
seven now.
Well, no, now it's
Okay, so
anyway.
that's meditation. What are some other things that we've learned over the past, I don't know, 5, 6, 10 years of pattern disrupts, things that we can do to help ourselves internally come back to neutral?
The number one thing, and before you interrupt me and jump in, let me finish, is touch grass. And what I mean by that is, yes, grounding, that's awesome. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm talking about, bring yourself back down to reality, especially with social media the way that it is.
Mm-hmm.
We slash certain mindsets and perceptions can get so worked up that we forget where we are. So I could sit here and be what we call online a keyboard warrior, or I could turn to my left, look outside, and realize this has nothing to do with me. Nothing to do with me at all. And you know what? I'm having a pretty good day. I'm going to keep up with that good day. I'm going to be aware of what's going
Yeah.
on. I'm going to keep my head on a swivel, be aware of what's happening in the world.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not going to take it in emotionally because it doesn't have anything to do with me. And this is something that's really, really, really,
That's
really
huge.
difficult for people because, and I used to be there, that's why I'm so confidently saying this, because we feel like, well, I have to be emotionally moved by it because there's people that are, no longer with us, or
Mm.
there's horrible situations that are happening.
Yes.
There's nothing that I personally myself can do about it. It's sad, it's harsh, it's rough. But I also am not, let's say what's going on in the Middle East right now. I'm not in the military. I'm
Right.
not in the government. I am not someone that works in the intel department, which means I don't have all the facts. So I'm going to choose to not let it emotionally disrupt me
Mm-hmm.
because I don't know any of the truth. And like I said in the beginning, I don't even know if anything is really happening in the Middle East. Who's to say those videos and live streams aren't AI? I can't
They,
say that.
yeah. I
I don't
mean,
know.
they could be. We don't know. Now we can have strong minds and soft hearts in the sense of we can have compassion and
Of
empathy.
course.
We can send out positive energy. We can pray for those who might be in harm's
Absolutely.
way. We can do all of those things, but we can still remain centered, grounded, calm
Of course.
within and not get so wrapped up in it.
Yeah.
And
That's,
you can even have a conversation with someone else, maybe even a debate, again, without getting emotionally invested. Because are you? Are you
yeah.
right now in this
Yeah.
moment where you're sitting? Are you emotionally unsafe? Are you physically unsafe? Like, do a check of your surroundings, bring your nervous system back into a space of somewhat neutral, right? Neutrality, or at least calm. And I know that you have some great ideas on kind of resetting nervous system and other than touching grass that you've used in the past.
Um, yeah, you put me on a spot and my brain went blank. Which ones are you thinking of?
Well, that one that works too.
Well,
Um,
number one from the beautiful Abraham Hicks is get off the subject.
yes,
Get off
yes.
the subject and stay off the subject until you have emotionally and energetically like chilled the F out, quite frankly.
Mm-hmm.
And that is something, there's something to be said about. I know when I was growing up, I heard a million times there's two things we don't talk about: politics and religion. And the reason why is it wasn't worth ruining relationships over, and we've moved away from that, and it's sad
Yeah,
because there's, I'll probably, let's estimate 75% of the planet that is capable of having a conversation and it ending with, I can see where you're coming from. I feel differently, but
right.
no worries. Let's talk about something else that we
Mhm.
do agree on. Let's have a great
You
conversation.
live your life, I'll live my
And then
way. We're
there's
good.
and then there's the other part that it's like, I don't agree with you and you should suffer because you don't think the same way that I do. That that's on both sides, every side, whatever.
Right.
There's maybe one side it's a little bit more towards, and that's called the maybe mental instability side, which is it's like if you disagree with someone that person should receive harm because of that. That's not okay ever in any situation. And most level headed, grounded people in the world can agree with that. That is,
Mm-hmm.
if nothing else, that is something that we should be able to agree on. But unfortunately, it's not. And there could be good reason to get back to two things we don't talk about is politics and religion.
And we can also remember things that we learned in flippin' kindergarten.
Yeah.
Be nice to others, don't wish others ill, right? Or that they get don't wish harm on them. I was actually on a call with someone, and they were like, the best thing would be is that if that person just is unalive. And I was like, they didn't say unalive, they said the
I
other one,
get
but
it.
I was like, all right, so moving on. And I was just
But
like,
I mean, that's the culture, that we're in right now, and that's the power of, again, these devices.
and it
Again,
was,
notice the cameras covered.
but
That
my thought is, when did that become okay to wish somebody
so here's
unalive?
because of these devices. the device we're having our show on,
Yes.
there is
There's
an
good and evil in everything.
no, there's I don't know why I can't say it, anonymous. You can be anonymous behind the
Oh,
screen, and so it's emboldened people to speak and say and do things that they
very
otherwise
true.
wouldn't. That's kind of like the concept of, if you are different race, religion, sex, whatever, people can say all sorts of dumb stuff online. But when you're actually in front of somebody, you're not going to insult them the way that you would online.
Right.
That is a perfect example of what we're seeing here. Some people do take it off the screen, of course,
Mm-hmm.
but that's part of what's happened, and that's why these devices are so destructive. Is that it's giving, and think about the kids that are growing up. Like I just skirted, like I think I was in fifth grade when the Motorola Razr flip phone came out.
God.
We didn't have I didn't get a smartphone until high school, I think, because that's just the way it
No, it was middle school.
was. Either way, I had a lot more brain than
Mm-hmm.
these 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 year olds that are having
Right.
smart devices. Then I'm sorry, but as a parent, you're not able to track everything those kids are doing. How anyone still believes in, I'm not going to say the specific figure's name, but in certain holiday related figures in today's world, I have
Right.
no idea. But these are things that kids are being exposed
Yeah.
to, and they're learning that I can say things online without repercussion, which then means in my real life, oh, I can probably do the same. And we're getting to a point where that's becoming true because no one wants to put their foot down. And
Mm-hmm.
that's where there's a big difference in culture and perception. I full I would never have said this 15 years ago, but the concept of peace through strength is 1000% accurate because
Yeah.
otherwise you are a pushover and people will take advantage of you. We do not live in a world where that doesn't happen. This isn't
Right.
Eden. This isn't some magical land
What?
where everything is sunshine and rainbows.
What?
People will take advantage of you if you're
Yeah.
weak. That brings us back to masculine and feminine and men versus women. Women are divine creatures that need a strong masculine to protect and defend them. That is the essence of feminine and masculine. And even
Mm-hmm.
that we've gotten away from. Sorry,
Right.
I just went on a whole tangent.
Well, no, but that's a good point because the other part of that is we also have the masculine and feminine. We've talked about this on numerous shows, but we have that within ourselves. So not even you can't even use the excuse, well, I don't have a partner because you have those two parts of you inside and you can pull whichever one you need more of. You can pull that out if you understand what the two are
And isn't
to
it
a point.
interesting
Mhm.
that since we've deviated from our natural masculine and feminine uh, roles,
Right.
things have gone haywire.
Yeah, because
Culture's
everybody's
gotten
freaking
weird.
confused.
Society's gone weird. Bullying increased.
Yep.
Sensitivity increased. Emotional uh, volatility increased. Nobody knows what's happening anymore
Right.
because it is not our natural state as human beings.
Yeah.
It is not our natural state as a woman, as a lady, to push, 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 and protect and drive. If you can do that, fantastic. God bless. We have
Mhm.
inner masculine, feminine dynamics within each of us, but that's not our general. Women are meant to be softer and nurturing and all of these things. Men are supposed to be by nature more tough and strong and all of those
Hunter,
things.
gatherer.
Right. Well, women would be the gatherers. Now, again,
Well,
there's differences person to person. We all have our
right.
own dynamics, but those roles have shifted so significantly that we don't know which way is up anymore, which is causing so much of this distress among
Mhm.
the population. And we have to remember to come back to ourselves, not just make decisions because of what's popular and what's cool, but
Right.
what do we actually feel is right? What do we, when we actually tune into ourselves and stop trying to do things just because we want to be able to say that we fit in, what is our inner guidance telling us?
How can people do that if they're so confused at who they are anyway? And so I think that just makes it
Compound.
even worse and yeah, compounds it, because they if you're so confused at who you are, what you believe, how do you then also trust yourself when you're trying to force yourself into a square, when you're a circle? It
I heard
doesn't.
something earlier that it was such a great post that someone shared on Instagram, and it was specifically talking about parenthood, but I think it applies here as well. Is we, again, through the invention of these devices, have basically trained ourselves out of being able to withstand discomfort. That is feeling uncomfy with someone's opinion being different from ours, all the way to we are using every medication in the book to not feel an inch of anything during labor and delivery. Like
Mhm.
it goes from one small little thing to, I mean, it's in every piece of our lives. We have to actually introduce discomfort in
Right.
order for ourselves to be able to withstand it and deal with it. And that is probably the biggest issue across the board.
And
Why do we have go ahead.
no, 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 go ahead.
I was gonna say, why do we have kids that don't know how to stand up for themselves and get horrifically bullied? Because they don't know how to withstand the comfort and push through it. They let it bring them down and bring them down and bring them down to the point where they're making life ending decisions because of it.
Right.
We have to learn how to deal with discomfort emotionally, physically,
Mhm.
mentally. We have to retrain ourselves on how to do that because these devices have made everything so
Oh,
easy
but we
and
can
so whatever.
scroll.
We scroll, we avoid, we disengage, we numb ourselves to what things actually feel like and look like and sound like. We have to make ourselves uncomfortable and learn how to deal with that because that's how we feel the opposite. Without knowing how to feel this discomfort, we also can't feel the fantastic, wonderful pleasures of life.
I'm laughing because you're like going right into where I wanted to go, which is we're talking about tools to use to kind of change the direction, right? Like if you're on the elevator and all the buttons are pushed and you're uncomfortable, what do you
Yeah.
do? Or you're on the crazy train, what do you do? How do you get off of that? How do you change things? Sometimes it's about acknowledging where you are, accepting it, and knowing that in life, everything change. That's the one constant is change,
Yep.
and you're only going to have to withstand it for a short amount of time in the big picture, and just sit with it. Give yourself a moment to acknowledge where you are, accept it. Okay, I'm in the middle of a shit show. All right, things are spiraling. Okay, sit with it, be uncomfortable with it, and then go, if you're ready, get curious. What would I rather be feeling? How would I rather be moving through life? Whatever the question is, but
Yeah.
that's when you can say, how would I rather feel? And then what small thing can I do to shift that? But sometimes just sitting in it, observing what's going on, is the best thing to do.
Yeah.
So every roller coaster comes to an end. So if you're on the crazy train, no, it's going to stop at some point and you can go to the next ride of your life. Same thing with the elevator. It's going to stop on the next floor. Get off and sit with it for a minute. Take the stairs, do something a little harder. Dive into those feelings. Look around internally. Where is this coming from? Is this even true? And you can start asking your questions, and that's like stepping back up to where you want to be. And so now you're raising your energy, your vibration, your emotional frequency.
Amen, sister.
This is such a fun topic.
Hmm.
I would like to karaoke, but we won't.
No, we're not doing that on.
I know, because I looked, and there's like, even if I started to sing the song, if I sing too many lines, we could get hit by copyright and they would
Yep.
like take us down.
Yep. Exactly right.
So rude.
I know.
So annoying.
Anyway, if you like today's show, like, subscribe, share, all those good things. And why don't you take us out today with a moment of presence, hence the name of the show, where we take a couple of deep breaths, bring ourselves back to neutral, back to central, so that
Yeah.
way you can get on with your day. hopefully with a little bit of a mindset shift. And
Yeah.
try out, walking backwards, throw a pen across the room,
Or
slam the door,
skip to your next meeting.
skip to your next meeting, put your feet in some grass, touch grass, which, as you heard before, not the same thing, two separate things.
Mhm. Hug a tree. So as we take our big deep breath in, just kind of take note of how you're feeling right now. Like, sit with it. So, big deep breath in, or as big as you can go, and just notice how you're feeling emotionally, physically. If you have a part of you that's more stress, maybe painful, and exhale in, and just imagine as you're exhaling, it's going to that area where that pain is, emotionally or physically. Let's do it again. So, deep breath in, feel where you're off, just sit with it. Say hi. Nice exhale. And then if you're ready to ask yourself a question, you can continue to sit with it, or you can ask yourself a question, just take a deep breath and just think to yourself, like, how do I want to feel? Take a big deep breath in. How would you prefer to feel? Just exhale. And I challenge you, just write down one thing that you could do to feel more like how you want to feel. Just one thing. Whatever it is. If it's standing up and working from your desk, standing up, do that. If you want to pet your dog, go pet your dog. Go for a walk. Look outside. Go stand in the sun, feel the breeze, touch the grass, hug a tree, or skip. But you have control. That's the whole point of this show today, is whether you're on a crazy train or you're on the elevator from hell, you or to hell, you, whichever one, you get to decide how you want to feel within. And feeling calm and being at peace, it does take discipline,
Mm-hmm.
but the discipline starts with you. It doesn't start from anywhere else. It starts from you. You get to make the decision. You get to make the changes. And when you do that, it impacts everybody else around you. And that's why we always say, choose wisely. So whether you're going to have a good day or a bad day, it's in your hand. You make the decision. And if you have to do a pattern disrupt, well, for God's sakes, do a disrupt.
Amen.
Amen, sister.
Have a great weekend, everyone.
See you next week.
Bye.
Bye.